Yeah. All kings on the throne.
It's all of us. You are not alone. It's a brotherhood.
What do you define as a brother?
When we're down, we help lift up each other.
Camaraderie is rare like no other.
Real men raising the wind makes us tougher.
Together,
The brotherhood. The brotherhood.
HS Brotherhood.
People, welcome back to the Brotherhood Podcast. We're on episode 3, mental health edition. So this is going to be, some real talk 101, bro. Talking about mental well-being.
Man, we gonna talk
First
about it.
off,
What's up, man? What up?
Dive into
What up?
it, bro.
What up?
My bad. How are you feeling? Real talk.
Real talk. Keep it stacked, man.
Since we're talking about mental well-being, how are you feeling psychologically?
Really, for real, right now.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Why's that?
I'm confused because I don't know which direction I want to go into right now.
Direction as far as like life?
Yeah, life, because I'm trying to get back on like moving around like a lot and get back into real life. I want to do it so fast, but my body is telling me no. So in my mind, I'm like, yo, bro, get up, go do something.
Right.
But then I'm messing myself up more by doing that. And then when I be thinking like, yo, you gotta chill out for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I'm lost on which one do I really go with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep fighting, not listening to my brain like, dude, you really need to chill, or me as a man, like, let me keep trying to get stronger. That make a little sense or something like that?
That makes perfect sense. To me, it comes down to a matter of you knowing your limitations. And sometimes we have to push past those limitations, but only you can determine like when is your breaking point.
Yeah.
And sometimes, especially as chronic illness warriors, we don't realize we have a lot more in us that we don't realize.
Yeah.
There's a lot more gas in the tank that we really realize that's not there, So,
I mean, let me ask you something, Joe.
yeah.
When you was like going through your worst times, like say like healing wise,
Yeah.
in the beginning stages of healing, what was going through your brain? Like, I know the feeling of like the pain afterwards when the anesthesia wear off and the pain stuff wear off.
Right.
Like, in the pain state. How do you feel on that time?
Right. So, great question. To bring it back to my journey when I was first received my diagnosis, I just buried a lot of stuff. Swept it underneath the rug. Didn't really embrace the pain, the physical pain, the emotional pain. And I think a lot of us men, we have a tendency to do that.
Yeah.
Because we want to put this mask on for society and front like everything's okay when it's really not.
Yeah, bro.
Internally, and I lived my life a long time doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like not allowing myself to experience those emotions, good, bad, and ugly emotions when I was actually supposed to go through them.
Yeah.
Because like this false perception of I'm a man and I have to, be strong and be a provider, and I didn't know how to really handle those emotions. So one way of handling it for me was not thinking about it, avoiding it.
Yeah.
Yo,
I ain't gonna front. Me too.
You did that?
Yeah, you wanna know something? When you go through something like really traumatic, we try to like let it go.
Right.
Once we get over it, we just go on about our lives. And something that happened to me when I really started talking about those emotions and times where I was going through something, like the feeling of crying, it was good for my mental. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talked about them things I swept under the rug and really brought it out, when I cried for so long, you know what I'm saying? Because, men, they always say, don't cry. Tough it up. Let it go. Keep breathing.
Right.
So doing that for a long period of time, and when you reach your breaking point, you just like crash with all the emotions, everything hitting you at once. You know what I mean? And I learned like, you gotta deal with those things at the time. Yeah, you gotta.
Big facts.
Yeah, you gotta feel. You gotta feel it because your brain gotta just know like, how to get through it, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you made a great point, like dealing with those emotions as soon as they arise, because like I said in my journey story, like I would just bury stuff. So early on in my journey, I was a young man in my teens or early 20s, just avoiding stuff. Fast forward to today, being in my mid 30s, trying to regulate those feelings. That shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? So to the young kings out there that's watching and listening to this, and you living with HS, don't be like me. Use me as a cautionary tale, man. Like, real talk, man. Don't avoid it. Don't bury it, because the more you delay those emotions and try to pretend like HS doesn't exist and you're not in pain physically and emotionally, you're just setting yourself up for failure. You know, luckily I have the mindset now, due to my advocacy, being open-minded, that I can talk about topics like mental health.
Yeah.
And I can talk about, like, how can I regulate this emotion?
Yeah.
You know, but if you would have asked me early on in my journey, my response would be like, psst, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You're the one that look like they need help. I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, so I want to strongly encourage the young kings out there, like, don't do that, man. Get a hold of it now, so you can become the best version of yourself early on, you know. And another point I would like to make too is, like, what is mental health? When you think about mental health, what it is? Because to me, it's like learning how to control those emotions so you don't reach the point of crashing out. How you feel about that? What's your take?
Tough.
It's
Yeah,
tough.
because
When you ask me that, I'm like,
because having mental health is like your mind is strong enough.
It's so complex. You can say something.
It's really complex because there's so many different angles of the mental. Like, the mentally having to deal with pain all the time and having to figure out, do I ignore this pain or do I just sit here and feel it and try to figure out how to, like, manage it? You know, and sometimes as a man, I know it's been times where, you know, I'll be like, I had pain in my leg. Like, just for today instance, I had pain in my leg, but I'm still moving around. You know, the man in me is like, keep moving, dude. Knowing dang well I should have sat down. I should have stayed in the building, but I didn't. Now I probably messed up my leg more. But if I had the mental that I should have had earlier, like, nah, don't even go out. You know what I'm saying? Chill out so you can be better for tomorrow. No, that masculinity, that masculinity, when that come into play, that made me just go do something that I shouldn't have done. You know what I'm saying? My emotions, being a man, and nowadays I realize I really do have emotions. Like, I be sad, I be angry, and it all can happen, simultaneously, back to back to back. And then sometimes you just ignore one and go to another. Right. You know what I'm saying? And then
because of the toxic masculinity, like, you taught, like, you're supposed to be angry, you're supposed to be tough, and you're not supposed to be sad. Yeah. But it's bullshit when you really come down to think of it. Bro. Because regardless of gender, it's like, you're a man, you're a human being, you're gonna have these emotions.
Yeah, and then, like, men, we like to be sad by ourselves. We're not gonna show nobody, and then us not expressing, that we really sad or something really wrong, we might not hear another person's perspective to help us get through that. You know what I mean? I've been doing that a lot. Like, yo, warriors, listen up. Talk to your friends. If you're going through something with somebody really asking you what's wrong, tell them. Be honest. Like, try that, because that'll be good for your mental. And when you could really truly be honest with people, you don't gotta lie. Hold on. Just pause for a second. We're going to take a quick break and hear a quick word from our sponsors.
At HS Connect, we want to take a moment to extend our heartfelt thanks to Moonlake Immunotherapeutics, our incredible sponsor for Season 1 of the Brotherhood podcast. Moonlake is a clinical stage company leveraging revolutionary nanobody technology to develop next-level medicines for immunologic diseases. For more information on Moonlake, visit moonlaketx.com.
Yeah. Ooh, the first time I was honest with somebody, I was honest with my mom.
Okay, how'd that go?
It was hard because I really had to tell her about spots that was, I don't want my mom to, know about my cheeks and, my groin area. And she wanted to know, like, really, what's wrong? Why are you walking like that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, Mom, you be wanting me to do stuff and I'm not trying to show you that I'm weak. You know what I'm saying? So my first time really telling her, like, yo, I got it in my cheeks. Mom, my groin is wilding, like it's bad. Like this is why I be in the bathroom for so long. It felt I had a lot of relief, like a lot of like weight off of my shoulders and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like now I don't have to lie. I don't have to tiptoe around trying to act like I'm good when like she clearly sees something wrong. But I'm like, no, let me just talk, be honest. And it was hard because as a man having problem areas and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're thinking about it all the time. It's tough on the brain, bro.
Yeah. It sounds like it was a liberating moment.
So this is how I felt when I really mentally unloaded everything that I truly was going through at that moment to one of my best friends. I felt good because he was my best friend for mad long.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I felt like I could just come to him. I was going through so much at the time, being in the house for so long, bedbound, all these thoughts going through my head. I can't move, I can't take care of myself. My brain was just stuck and sad, mad, depressed, I don't want to be around nobody. I really wanted to commit like I wanted to. And at that moment, I said, I gotta go talk to somebody. And my bro was across the street. I walked over there and I really said, yo, I don't want to live no more. I don't want to live like this. I can't move. I'm in pain all the time, constantly. It's tough. I don't want to be here, fam. Like, what am I here for? Like, it's been so long. And then having him really hear it and look at me and say, man, don't talk like that. What you talking about, man? It's not that bad. But he was saying it in a way that he really felt like, no, dude's gonna do that. It's not that bad, And when I heard him say that, I was like, you know what? It's not. And I know a lot of people always say, yo, somebody else going through worse things than you. It's always like that. Yeah.
Right.
But at that moment, that was the worst thing ever. You know what I'm saying? That I was going through. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that, somebody else got it worse than me. But just hearing that, yo, it's not that bad for you to do that.
Right.
Hearing that from somebody that's close when you truly opened up, that was real healing for me. And it was good for my mental. When it showed me that when I could open up and talk to somebody that's close to me, it make everything better.
Right.
Make you not make the wrong decision. Because I felt like if I would have did that, I wouldn't be here. You know what I'm saying? And it made my mind stronger that when I get to that point of almost getting there, I know what to do not to get to that point of having to tell somebody that, like to really feel like I want to do it.
Right.
Now I know when to stop. Like if I feel like, for instance, if I see myself getting an abscess and it's continuing to drain and get bigger, I'm not going to let that stop me from trying to stay positive let me lock in, take care of it.
Right.
Don't let it get you down because when you do that, that's when the brain get all messed up.
You can't stay in that mindset for too long because that's when it starts to become detrimental to your overall life experience. And like, I'm glad your boy was there to hold you down and help you realize, like, don't make he helps you realize to not make a permanent decision or for a temporary emotion. So,
Word.
Shout out to your boy.
Yeah, shout out to my boy, man. Word, yo. Shout out to you.
Strong support system.
Yeah. Shout out to me for getting the help I needed.
Oh yeah, shout out.
And then I didn't realize like I was like searching to like talk to him, but it just happened to just happen like that. Like I needed to say something because, I didn't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking about it before, in the other episode, you know what I'm saying? I said it, but I just said it because I thought about it. But that time where I really wanted to do it, and I said it to somebody, and they gave me the answer or the reply that I needed to hear, I'm like, okay. People still love me. And that's what people are going to love you. You got people, your family, friends, always remember that. Always remember that, warriors. No matter how bad it is, you want to do something crazy, when your brain going wild, remember the people that love you.
You make
the brotherhood love you. Remember that, because we do. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like nobody don't love you, we love you. You know what I'm saying? And we try to show love to the bros, you know, and I done got love from, you know, especially guys in this community. I done connected, you know, like with you. You know what I'm saying? It felt like I known you for years, bro.
Likewise, bro.
You know what I mean? And that's just a connection that just happened to pop from just talking.
A natural connection that was formed naturally, organically.
Yeah. And
as they would say, kindred spirits.
Yeah, bro, and I can say you helped me a lot with my mental, that where when I'm really feeling something, I know I can talk to you about it freely without you judging me or trying to just say, oh, no, don't say that. Yeah. Stop what you're doing. Go back to work. You know what I mean? Just say something crazy, but you actually listen and you got some good insight on how to help guide me to stay positive.
I appreciate you, bro. And it works both ways, you know. I feel like our relationship is an iron sharpen iron relationship. Yeah, so prior to meeting you, it felt so lonely, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been doing my advocacy thing for about 3-4 years, and like, I just felt so isolated not having another brother there with me to, you know, chop it up and share my emotions with. And like, shout out to all the ladies in the crew, like they always made me feel welcome and supportive, but it's different now. Finally, you have a brother there. You my brother, like we can chop it up and like talk about the bro stuff.
Talk about the bro stuff,
the brotherhood stuff.
Yeah,
we love the ladies, but no girls allowed sometimes.
Yo, bro, and I can say having a bro with HS is good, you know, because you got other bros that don't have it, but they don't understand to the point of being an HS patient to know the other side of the thoughts that go on, you know. Like, say, like, we gotta say, yo, Joey, let's go to a restaurant.
Right.
You will think about how the restaurant is. You know what I mean? Hold on, we got some nice seats, something. If I said it to my other boy, he ain't gonna say that. You know what I mean? He not gonna think about that. Right. Let's just go. Like, we gonna think about how can we be comfortable going places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just help you being, what's that? How'd that help me?
Considerate.
Yeah.
Right? We know what it's like to walk in each other's shoes because we have to live with this condition every day. So the things that you and I think about, it may feel like it's few and far between, because even though a lot of men may be living with HS as well, they can't vocalize that.
Yeah.
So we would never know, but that's what sets us apart. That's what sets us apart from them, is the fact that we're talking about it and we're doing something to improve the situation. So I want to give my flowers to you too, man, because like, you don't realize how much you make me a better person. You know what I'm saying? Like, you one of the first dudes that I seen on social media openly expressing what it's like to live with HS. You know, HS, hence HS open wounds. I remember seeing your material and seeing the open wounds. Like, even as an HS warrior, when I seen it for the first few times, I'm like, yo, it kind of startled me. Like, yo, he out there transparent. And right away, I didn't understood the message because I was in that mind frame, like hiding it, disguising it. I'm like, what is he doing? Until I really started investigating, and I'm like, damn, he doing something different that's gonna, you know, raise awareness for HS at one, and most importantly, make society better, because you're showcasing something that most people want to hide. So salute to you.
Yo, thanks. Yo, appreciate that, G.
Real talk, bro.
You want to know something about that, about me when I was posting my wounds and stuff first? Because that's how I started off. Right. I was doing that to help me get through what I was going through, because I was going through so much, you know, in my head, you know. So all I did was share my wounds. Like, I didn't share nothing else when I first started. That's all I did, because I'm like, this is crazy. I'm getting all cut up like this. I got to show people, you know. And that was kind of like a diary, you know, to help me really get through stuff. And you know, later on, when I really started rapping about it more, you know, that was really helping my mental. You know what I'm saying? That was like a part of my mental health, like really rapping about it to keep me sane. You know, finding my talent to put it with the HS, you know, to help me get through. You know, and I would hide a lot of my story in my rhymes. You know what I'm saying? So only I would know, but it's like I'm telling it, but I'm actually not telling it. So it's like
people gotta decipher it.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle. So when I really, came across another man like yourself, you opened me up to the point where I could talk about it freely, and I don't care no more. Like, I used to care. Like, I could talk about it. When I'm talking with you, like, having a bro like that, like, I will say it, and I like that because it makes me feel like I'm worthy, you know what I'm saying? That's the right thing. Like, I'm worthy, you know what I mean? Yeah, and you know what I mean? So talking about it, having somebody that you could connect with, for your mental health, bro, I'm trying to keep you for the rest of my life. I'm gonna try to keep you around for the rest of my life. And not just because you're an awesome person, you know what I'm saying? It's just because of your brain, you know what I'm saying? You're a smart man, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff that you've been through, with HS, and for you to still be standing strong, you know what I'm saying? I need that to rub off on me. So, times where I'm feeling like, oh damn, this ain't it. This ain't it. Let me hit on my boy. So
facts. I appreciate you, bro. And like I said, it works both ways. I'm glad I finally found a brother who has the same level as passion as me, the same level of, same level of passion as me. Because, like I said, for the longest I felt alone, but now that I have you here, man, we're going to take it to the top. And hopefully we can encourage more kings in the community to step up and step out of the shadows and speak about this. And like, one thing I want to talk about before we wrap it up is like, don't be afraid, like Parish said, don't be afraid to open up. Find somebody who you love and trust that you can really confide in. And if you need to take it to a professional, hey, there ain't no shame in it, bro. Like, I've been in therapy for a couple months now, and my only regret is the fact that I didn't start it sooner. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in the leadership role, that shit get heavy, man. It gets heavy. A lot of people come to you, and like, going back to like what you say, not having a place to unload, I'm able to find that place in therapy to unload and have another male figure give me that guidance. He don't give me the answers to the test, but he set me up with the tools that I need in order to succeed in my life. So it was an honor doing this episode with you.
It's an honor for that. You about to make me go, I gotta get to therapy now, man.
Nah, it's real talk though, bro. Like, I'm not trying to fluff it up or sell you a bag of goods, but it is what it is, man. Like, don't neglect your mental health. So fellas, make sure you do what you need to do to put yourself on a better path of healing.
Word up. You know what I'm saying? So